Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Plus Plus. Today we are starting our first playlist of algorithms and its concepts. An algorithm can be defined as a process or set of rules to be followed while solving any logical or mathematical problem. So now, why do we need an algorithm? Algorithm helps in solving complex problems in a systematic and simplified way. It further helps to optimize our solutions. Let's see the advantages of algorithms. The first one is clear and unambiguous. An algorithm is a step by step procedure or set of rules which makes it unambiguous and helps to clearly understand and build the logic. The second one is language independent. Algorithms are language independent. We can write a single algorithm and can implement it in any language, be it C, C++, Python, Java, or JavaScript. The third one is finiteness. An algorithm aids in constructing and building adequate code which further saves times and ensures effectiveness of the code. It also makes sure that the algorithm does not end up in infinite loops. The fourth one is well-defined input and outputs. Algorithms helps in identifying accurate input parameters and its intended output. It explicitly states the correct order of input so that it can be easily implemented in the code. The fifth one is feasible. Algorithms are simple and pragmatic to understand, which makes it feasible to construct. We have divided algorithms in further components like divide and conquer, which include sorting and searching, dynamic programming, greedy algorithm, and backtracking algorithms. Today we are starting with sorting algorithms. What is sorting? Sorting is arranging the objects systematically in ascending or descending order, provided some criteria. So why do we need to sort? Look at the students standing in an assembly line in an unordered way. If there is a stage on the right, then the person having small height may not be able to see what's going on. Arranging the students in an assembly line based on their heights sounds like a better solution. Moving on to a technical side, real-world examples involve the Python's dot sort method, which is an inbuilt function of Python, uses hybrid sorting algorithm that is derived from merge sort and insertion sort. C++ uses hybrid sorting algorithm to minimize the sorting time. It consists of a combination of quicksort, heapsort, and insertion sort. Operating systems. Whenever a search operation is required to be done by operating systems, example file search, sorting is done as a pre-processing step. Let's see a real-life demonstration where sorting is done. Here, the table data can be sorted alphabetically in an ascending or descending order according to the desert name, and it can also be sorted in an increasing or decreasing number of calories, fats, carbs, or proteins. These are the frequently asked sorting algorithms, which includes bubble sort, heap sort, quick sort, bucket sort, merge sort, shell sort, and insertion sort. Each of them have their unique solutions for sorting the given elements. Our first sorting algorithm on the list is bubble sort. Let's get started. Bubble sort is sometimes referred to as sinking sort. This is the algorithm of bubble sort. The begin bubble sort takes an input that is a list or an array of elements. It loops through all the elements of the list starting from 0 to the length of the list. Next, it compares two adjacent elements and checks if the elements to its right is greater. If not, then those two elements will be swapped. To sum up, the bubble sort repeatedly steps through the list, compares adjacent elements and swaps them if they are in the wrong order. The pass through the list is repeated until the list is sorted. To understand how bubble sort works, let's take an example of array of 5 elements. We have 5, 6, 2, 4, 3. Clearly, it is not sorted. Since there are 5 elements in the array, the length of the array should be 5. But in programming, the array index starts from the 0th positions. So starting from 0, the length of the array will be 4. Now let's have a look at how bubble sort operates. So as per the bubble sort, we will iterate through the list using for loop, using I as our iterator. At first, the value of I will be 0 as explained in the previous slide. Then the algorithm will compare the element at I position of the array with the element at I plus 1 position of the array. The number on ith position is marked by sky blue color and that on I plus 1 position is marked by pink color. Since I is 0, so I plus 1 will be 1. So the two elements which will get compared here are 5 and 6. Since 5 is on the ith position, that is 0th position, and 6th is on the I plus 1, that is 1st position. Now since the number at the right, that is I plus 1 position, is greater, we do not swap. Remember, we only swap them if the number at right position is smaller. Next, we will increment our I to 1. So the two elements which will get compared here are 6 and 2. Now since the number at the right, that is I plus 1 position, is smaller, we need to swap those numbers. Next, we will increment our I to 2. So now I equals to 2 and I plus 1 will be 3. So at the second position, we have the number 6, and at the third position, we have the number 4. So the two elements which will get compared here are 6 and 4. Now since the number at the right, that is I plus 1 position, is smaller, we need to swap those numbers. Next, we will increment our I to 3. Now I will be 3 and I plus 1 will be 4. So the two elements which will get compared here are 6 and 3. Again, since the number at the right, that is I plus 1 position, is smaller, we need to swap. When the first pass is over, the greatest element of the array should be at the rightmost position, which in this case is 6th. Here we can see that in the last line. Similarly, at the end of second pass, the second most greatest element will be at the second last position from the right, and so on. The second and the third pass are similar to the first pass. You can pause the video and check it out. The maximum number of passes that bubble sort requires to completely sort an array of n elements is n-1. Here is the complete code of bubble sort in Java. In this main method, we are first declaring the array of 5 elements. Next, we are displaying the same using for loop to show the array before the sort. Next, we are calling the sort function, where we are passing array1 as parameter, which we declared initially. Then we have also displayed the array after sort. Let's see what the sort function does. Here the function sort is accepting array as a parameter. There are two for loops. The first for loop has iterator I, which will iterate through entire array starting from the 0th position. We have taken another for loop with iterator j, which will iterate from 0th position of array I times. Next, we compare the element at j position with the element at j plus 1 position. If the element at position j is greater than the element at position j plus 1, then we swap those two numbers. Here we are displaying the array after each loop to better understand the bubble sort. To clearly understand the bubble sort and its working, let's also see the output. On the right side, you can see the output of the code. Here you can see the output after every loop and pass. Now let's dig deep into the code and see how the bubble sort works. In the first for loop, we can see that I is ranging starting from 0 till I is less than n. The length of the array is 5 since we have defined 5 elements. So here I will be ranging starting from 0 till 4. In the second for loop, the j is ranging starting from 0 till j is less than n minus I minus 1. Now, what is n minus I minus 1? So we have n equals to 5 and say it is the first pass. So the value of I is 0. So the greatest value of j can be less than n minus I minus 1, which is equal to 5 minus 0 minus 1, and which is equal to 4. So the range of the j can be 0 to 3. Now let's see the loops within the first pass. So in the first loop of the pass 1, we have the value of j as 0. Thus the value of j plus 1 will be 1. The element at the 0th position of the array is 5 and the element at the first position of the array is 6. Then we compare, is 5 greater than 6? The answer is no. So we do not swap here. On the right side you can see the output. This array is same as the initial array. We have not done any swapping yet. Let's see the second loop. In the second loop the value of j is incremented to 1 and thus j plus 1 becomes 2. So we'll pick the element at the first position of the array and the element at the second position of the array, which is 6 and 2. Then we compare, is 6 greater than 2? The answer is yes. And so we swap these two numbers. Here on the right side you can see we have swapped the position of 6 and 2. Moving on to the third loop. In the third loop the value of j is incremented to 2. Thus j plus 1 becomes 3. So the elements at the position 2 and 3 are 6 and 4. Now is 6 greater than 4? The answer is yes, and so we swap. Similarly in the fourth loop the value of j is incremented to 3 and thus j plus 1 becomes 4. The element at the position 3 and 4 are 6 and 3. Is 6 greater than 3? The answer is yes, and thus we swap. Now as we have already learned some time ago that at the end of the first pass the greatest value of the array will be sorted. So here 6 is the greatest value in the array and now we can see the 6 at the last position where it should be. So in pass 2 do we need to compare the 6 again? The answer is no. Let's see how the code works. In the pass 2 the value of I is incremented to 1. So the value of j will be starting from 0 to n minus I minus 1, which is equals to 5 minus 1 minus 1, which is equals to 3. So the range of j will be 0 to 2. Now notice here we are excluding the last element. That means we are not comparing the last element again because the last element is already sorted. Similarly, at the end of the pass 2, the second last element will also be sorted, and after pass 3, the third last element will also be sorted. You can find the detailed notes for bubble sort in the description. The bubble sort using Python and Java both are present in the notes. Moving on to complexities, the worst and average case time complexity of bubble sort is big O of n square. The best case time complexity is big O of n. The best case occurs when array is sorted. The auxiliary space is big O of 1. The auxiliary space refers to the temporary space required by an algorithm to be used. It may be temporary arrays, pointers, etc. Space complexity on the other hand is a reference to the total space taken in an algorithm with respect to the input size. The average time complexity is big O of n square. We will also make a separate video on how to calculate these complexities. Next on our list will be quicksort. So stay tuned with us. Don't forget to hit the like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so that you get notified when we come up with a new video. Thank you.